Hello everyone, my name is Infinity and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course the law of attraction. If you do enjoy my channel and like this content, please do click the subscribe button to support this channel and join our community here of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. Today we are going to be talking about twin flame friendship, specifically answering the questions, can twin flames be friends? Are there platonic twin flames? Or are all twin flames inherently romantic? I wanted to create this video because I feel really guided to share my thoughts on this subject. There are more people than ever before on the planet coming to the twin flame path, coming to an understanding of what twin flames are, an awareness of potentially a twin flame that they've met in this life, and even reuniting, experiencing a twin flame reunion with this person. And it is such a beautiful thing, and I am so grateful for all of you listening here who are on this path, sharing this beautiful journey along with me. And I'm also grateful for the fact that so many more people are discovering the concept of twin flames and finding this information. It's truly an amazing thing. However, with that being said, I also do feel that when there is so much information out there being shared about twin flames, and when the topic or the word twin flame is being picked up by huge magazines now that are, writing articles about twin flames, I feel there is some information being shared about twin flames that I don't feel resonance with, that I don't feel aligned with in my heart and soul. Now, I know that we each have our own path, our own journey, and our own intuition guiding us on that path. So I just want to preface by saying that I know not all of you listening may agree with what I'm saying in this podcast, and that's perfectly okay. Always use your own intuition as your own guide. However, I do just want to share my own thoughts and feelings about this very commonly discussed and even argued question of whether twin flames can be platonic. So my soul's perspective on this is twin flames, by definition, are divine counterparts. And because of this, there is a kind of magnetism that exists between them, not just in this lifetime, but a magnetism that is inherent, that exists because at the very origin of their soul's creation, their soul essence was essentially divided, put into two separate entities, in this case, two separate bodies. And because the law of attraction governs our universe and tells us that like attracts like, the fact that this other person, our twin flame, shares our identical soul core frequency, our soul essence, the law of attraction in our universe would naturally create an intense and irresistible magnetism between our two souls, between our two beings. And this magnetism is the basis for all forms of attraction: spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, romantic. All forms of attraction are based in energy, specifically the ways that certain types of energy have magnetism between them. In this case, in the case of romantic attraction or platonic attraction, whatever kind of attraction we are experiencing, usually it is because there is some kind of likeness about that person or that person's soul, in the case of our soul family members, our soulmates. However, with twin flames, this magnetism exists on all levels. That means naturally, this attraction isn't just a physical pull, it is physical, emotional, mental, romantic. It is attraction in all of its forms. And this is the only person, our divine counterpart, the only soul with whom we share this kind of all-encompassing, intense attraction toward. Now, with that being said, I feel that where I feel out of alignment with some of the information that gets shared about twin flames versus soulmates is that many people say that a twin flame could be anyone, a family member, a cousin, it could be completely platonic. But in my view, because of the intense attraction that happens at all levels of our being, naturally, magnetically, with this other person, with this other soul, it would be impossible for this to be anything besides a romantic connection. However, I do understand where people are coming from, where they discuss these other kinds of connections. I just feel maybe there's a difference in how we label these relationships, connections, because many people can be part of our soul family, our soulmates, and soulmates can be platonic or romantic. Soulmates can even be family members. And I feel where sometimes the information gets confused is some look at a platonic soulmate connection that is very intense, and these relationships can be intense. Platonic soulmate connections can spark a spiritual awakening. They can reconnect us with some of the truth about ourselves. They can feel very magnetic. We can feel a sense of deja vu, a deep connection to our platonic soulmates. And I feel that sometimes information presented, because of how intense some soulmate connections can be, it labels those connections as twin flame connections just because of the intensity. But where I see the difference is with our twin flame, this isn't just part of our soul family, someone we are drawn to, someone we are pulled to, someone who helps us along our spiritual journey. All of that can happen with a soulmate, but I do believe that the key difference is in the identical nature of our souls, not just being similar, but literally carrying identical soul core frequencies, having that mirror aspect that presents itself in certain ways, and also being counterparts, being meant to share life together, being always unbreakably, eternally, energetically, completely connected to one another in a way that we aren't connected with anyone else. Although twin flames often do label themselves as just friends in this life, often this is a label out of necessity because they meet in circumstances where they feel bound to friendship. They feel as though there is no way for them to be anything besides friends. And of course, this is a limitation of the ego mind. The ego telling us maybe that we're too old, that we already have a family, that we're already with someone else, that we can't be together because we are so physically, geographically far apart. The ego presents stories. It ties us with invisible strings to these labels that never feel right. With a twin flame, you may call it a friendship in this physical 3D world, but it will never feel like a friendship. In your heart and soul, you will always have this awareness that this is your person, that this is your divine counterpart, that this is an eternal, inherently magnetic in all forms, and therefore naturally, inevitably romantic soul connection. You will know that you are always going to be connected to this person regardless of where you go on this planet, regardless of what other romantic partner you may try to connect with or they may try to connect with. Even in death, you have this awareness that nothing will ever cause you to be completely severed from this person, from this person's energy, from their essence. You will carry them with you like a mark on your soul. It will mark you in an invisible yet profound way for all of eternity. And so to call it a friendship will feel so shallow to you, will feel so out of alignment with what this connection truly is. But yes, of course, because of certain life circumstances, you may find yourself in a situation where, again, out of necessity or what the ego perceives to be a necessity, you may call it a friendship, or they may call it a friendship. But in your heart and soul, your intuition will always be telling you that it has never been, is not, and could never be just a friendship. It will always be so much more than that. The depth will always be there. The connection will always be there. I also feel that twin flames who are in these circumstances of just being friends, which again, sometimes this does happen for whatever reason on our healing journey, because of circumstances that aren't yet broken down in our physical world, because of circumstances that aren't yet aligning, because we or our twin flame hasn't yet fully energetically aligned in order to shift those circumstances. Whatever the case may be, I do also feel that this beyond friendship will go beyond just intuition and knowingness. You won't just be aware that this person shares a connection to you that is so much deeper than a friendship, so much more profound than a friendship. But beyond that, you will also find yourself tripping into expressions of greater connection. And what I mean by that is, if you are trying to be friends with a twin flame, inevitably there will be times where what you are feeling is so intense, the attraction you're feeling on all levels is so intense that you won't be able to stop yourself from saying something. You may feel like you're just blurting something out like I love you, or you mean so much to me, or just saying something to this person in a way that will feel accidental, but really isn't accidental. It's just happening. It's happening because it's what your soul truly feels, and the truth will always come out. The truth will always manifest in some way. So I do find it's very difficult for twin flames who are trying to maintain this physical 3D world friendship to prevent themselves from ever stepping into that more than friendship space, just because, again, that energetic, intense attraction is always there. So oftentimes you may find yourself again saying something that you will say in your own mind was an accident, or just you blurting something out to them that you shouldn't have said. Your ego may step in and judge whatever you told them, whatever you said to them. But in truth, the ego is just afraid. But what you spoke in that accidental moment was actually your truth. Now, this doesn't just go for things you might say that kind of move into that space of more than friendship accidentally, or what the ego thinks to be accidentally. But sometimes even you may feel physically pulled to do something, some kind of show of affection, and not even realize where it's coming from or why you're doing it, or not even be able to fully prevent yourself from doing it. So for example, you might be with your twin flame just speaking in conversation as quote unquote friends, and feeling so connected to them, feeling this intense attraction. And you may find this very strong urge to just reach for their hand, which obviously if you're trying to be friends, holding hands is not usually a platonic show of, platonic connection, affection. It's usually romantic. But you may find yourself just pulled to do these things that that your ego would judge and know is not just a show of friendship. And so when you are trying to be friends with your twin flame, you will find yourself in this constant internal struggle of, I feel so attracted, pulled to you on all levels that I just want to say that thing. I just want to reach out in that way. I just want to move it beyond friendship. And the reason you always want to move it into that non-friendship space is because energetically you're already there. We as human beings are natural manifestors, creators. We like to cause our physical realities to match the energy. Alignment is the order of the day in our universe. When something is going on energetically, it naturally desires to manifest in the physical. So for twin flames, what's going on energetically is intense, profound connection. But now there's this disconnect when you're trying to just be friends or have this acquaintanceship or this very strictly platonic friendship. You still have all of that pull, all of that magnetism, all of that attraction inevitably happening energetically. And in our universe, again, everything energetic desires to clothe itself in some kind of physical manifested reality. That is why twin flames long for each other so intensely and yet fight the feelings that they have so often. Because if you're trying to be friends or your twin flame is trying to be friends with you, there is this awareness of this constant, never-ending internal battle between what you are feeling energetically, how you are being pulled, how you are being guided, how you are being pushed to interact with this person, to connect with this person, to show physical 3D manifested shows of your affection and attraction toward this person. And then a contrast between that and these strict rules and regulations your ego has bound you to that say, I can only interact with this person or speak to this person strictly as a friend. And this fight gets very exhausting. It's part of the reason sometimes twin flames run from this connection, because sometimes they aren't yet ready, for whatever reason, to loosen the grip of the ego enough to allow themselves to naturally be moved into action based on what their soul knows to be true, based on what they are feeling and sensing energetically with their twin flame counterpart. And as long as that battle is going on, it's very energetically draining. It can be a source of perpetual anxiety, confusion, pain, even physical pain, because of just this constant tug-of-rope sort of situation happening between your soul and your ego, even as a twin flame runner, even as the so-called counterpart or twin flame that is making shows in the physical of trying to evade or escape the connection. In some ways and at some times, it's really just them being so aware of how intense, how attractive, how magnetic this connection is, that they know they won't be able to fight it. And I just wanted to say that because I also feel some of you listening are in separation and experiencing something where your twin flame is perceived to be running from the connection. You may have labeled them or heard them labeled as the twin flame runner. But I feel like someone listening needs to know that, ironically, the reason this person may seem to be running, may seem to be disconnecting, is actually because they are so aware of the depth of this connection, aware of the intensity, the magnetism, that they know they can't be around you without acting on those natural urges and inclinations. And for whatever reason, they aren't fully ready to release the ego enough to allow themselves to move into that natural action-oriented space, to move this connection forward in whatever way their soul is so magnetically pulling them to do so. Like I said, everything happens first energetically within us, and then in our law of attraction-based reality, these energetic changes are then reflected in what we experience in the physical world. The same is so true of this twin flame connection. Because our twin flame is our perfect mirror, whenever we shift, change, heal, balance, or harmonize the energy within ourselves, we manifest radical changes on the physical within our 3D manifested physical twin flame connection. The greatest mistake twin flames make is fixating on changing the physical before changing the energy, changing the way they speak to their twin flame, changing the way they act toward their twin flame, or alternatively, trying to force the other person to change. These are all just messing with the leaves of this tree instead of getting it at the root, and shifting the energy is the root of all twin flame disconnect that we perceive in the physical world, whether it's emotional disconnect, physical disconnect, a disconnect in communication. All of these disconnects are unnatural and happen because of unnatural ways we are programmed unconsciously in our energy to forget who we truly are, to hand away our power, to forget our worthiness of love, of true, pure, unconditional love that society doesn't teach us when we're young. We must find a way to reprogram the subconscious mind, because it's the subconscious mind that is directly correlated and reflected in our energy field. And for this energy working purpose, I have created a 7-chakra twin flame clearing subliminal. This is a powerful subliminal meditation designed to acknowledge and clear out any negative pockets of subconscious thought resistance within the 7 chakras in the energy body. This subliminal is available on my membership site, Sound and Soulful, where I've created a library of over 100 subliminals for all areas of life. So if you'd like to explore more about this 7-chakra twin flame clearing subliminal and how you can use it to clear your energy field, reprogram yourself, magnetize yourself for deepening your twin flame connection, you can learn more about it by checking the link in the description box under this video. Thank you so much to all of you listening from wherever you are in the world. Please know that when you listen to these videos, you aren't just inactive. You aren't just here listening to what I have to say. Your presence here as a subscriber, as someone part of this community, as a listener on these podcasts is truly co-creating every piece of information that I share. You are assisting all of us through this channel in channeling greater, more in-depth twin flame information and information about all topics to guide those in need to greater reconnection with their true, authentic soul self. So thank you for being part of this community, part of this movement. Please do subscribe if this video resonated with you. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. Have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you again in the next podcast.